talking in right now. I can hear me. I can hear myself. I can hear myself. I can hear myself. I can still hear from this, but I can't talk. All right. Wait, hold on. I can't hear. I can hear now. That's right. Take up the channel. I have to remember to take up the channel. Well, no, I can see it on the. I'm gonna keep this on the device. I can interact with Test 1, 2.
If you open up the audio, make sure you see all that information.
Christofferson. My brother, Peter Christofferson trophy. On the screen right now, you will see the backs of our AFM finalists. First event finalists, we have Team Dunt out of the Philadelphia Curling Club with help from a friend member out of the Brooklyn Lakeside Curling Club, taking on Team Dunham. Team Dunham curls out of the Philadelphia Curling Club with members out of also Bucks County Curling Club and Potomac as well. It's a little bit of a hybrid situation on our first event as we have members of competitive rate Team Dunham on both teams with Scott Danny Dunham playing on the back end for Team Dunham and Daniel Dunn and Cody Clausard on Team Dunn. So we've basically got the same team split up twice, which is going to be making for a very exciting game. On sheet 2, which will not have any live commentary, so first off, you're welcome to it. If you go over to our YouTube page for the Plainfield Curling Club, sheet 2 is live, where we have our C event final, our third event final for the Garden State Trophy, where we have Team Zempel going up against Team Mooney. Some pretty large heavyweights in the Plainfield men's competitive side. Mark Mooney and Mark Zempel both are the skips on their respective teams for our Monday night competitive league. Mark Mooney, as well as Mike Bobrowski, Steven Zempel, having tremendous experience on the club curling and national circuit. So we've got a lot of great talent on both sheets. I highly encourage you to visit the sheet 2 link for the Plainfield Curling Club website, Plainfield Curling Club YouTube channel, to check them out. It's going to be an entertaining game, and we're also here on ice talking looks to be that. Team Dunham has first down to the first end, and they're going to shooting red rocks. So let me go ahead and shooting red. So Dunham has hamburger. So we got Wheeler throwing bead stones for Team Dunham. Out of the Philadelphia Club.
I think it's there.
Team Dunham went 3-0 for the event, taking on the Klein Rink on Thursday evening, and then taking a victory over Team Mooney, who's also on Sheet 2 right now. Meeting up with Team Beltry in the semifinals for the first event. That's their track here. And we see a host Charlie Westlaw, who is throwing for Team Dunn. Team Dunn also went undefeated. First off, taking on the Kieran Rink on Friday morning, and then taking on the Lil Rink that same evening, and then taking for the semifinal going against the Link Epic Rink. The semifinals at noon Saturday. So we got two undefeated teams going on here, throwing lead rocks. Seem pretty content here, just to be trading hits to start. Just to get a feel of the ice is going to look like here.
Go to the three. Where's the
am currently getting audio technical support from somebody who is definitely half my age, so please pardon me for one moment while we get our audio situation taken care of. I also have some really cool. I'm getting. Audio check. I have a really nice person in the chat room on the YouTube channel, and also a person blasting my cell phone right now with text messages about commentary. So if my friend Ken in the chat room can maybe make a comment about the quality of audio now, and a person on blast on my cell phone, either one would be great. Audio check. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. After that jarring experience where we realized, hey, maybe we should unmute the audio headphone system, it seems like we might have some audio back. So before we get restarted with all of the commentary, I'm just going to wait for our friends in the chat room or my friend via text to let me know about audio levels before I start rambling as if I know what's going on. Everyone, for those, we're going to do a reintroduction of everything. My name is Robert Young. I'll be attempting to provide some commentary for this year's PCC first final for the Peter Christofferson Trophy, where we have in the middle of our second end Team Dunham going against Team Dunt. Both teams going undefeated in this year's PCC Stone event. First end, we saw a trade of hits. Both teams were pretty happy with getting an idea of what the ice is going to look like, so there was a lot of trading of hits, taking the blank. This year's streaming will have commentary for the first event here on Sheet 1. On Sheet 2 here at Plainfield, as Plainfield is a two-sheet club, we have our C event finalists, which is Team Mark Zempel versus Team Mark Mooney. So we got the Battle of the Marks on that sheet, which does not have any commentary, but there is a link that is available for the second sheet. We have 2-0 at the end of the first with Mark Mooney. But right now on Sheet 1, we've got Daniel Dunt in the hack, ready to throw, I believe, the first set of Vice Rocks for the second sheet. For the second end, we got some guards in play on the out-turn side, so I believe this is an attempt at drawing behind buried of the red guard. Throughout the event, I will be paying attention to both my phone and the chat room for any questions that you all might have. Plainfield Curling Club is a two-sheet curling club out of South Plainfield, New Jersey. It is the only dedicated ice facility that we have in New Jersey. We also have in the state of New Jersey, we have an arena club in the south, the Jersey Pinelands Curling Club, and in the immediate area, the Plainfield Curling Club is hosted with Bucks, sorry, not hosted, but it's surrounded by clubs such as the Philadelphia Curling Club, the Bucks County Curling Club, both in Pennsylvania. We've got the Ardsley Curling Club in Westchester County in New York. Not that far from Nutmeg Curling Club in Connecticut. So we have a good swath of dedicated ice facilities here in the Mid-Atlantic region. We're really excited to have caliber of play from competitive Team Dunham here. Team Dunham and Team Dunt are actually split up
on the ice, but they two team members on each team actually combined to form Team Dunham, which had a really successful cycle in the Olympic cycle that we just had. While they did not take the Olympic trials berth, they did have a successful cycle, and we're excited about seeing what Team Dunham is going to do moving forward. It is great to see East Coast curlers, as we saw today with the mixed doubles championship, even though we saw a great display from the Hamilton siblings, and we're excited to see what they're able to do for Team USA in the mixed doubles championship. To see Monica Walker and Andrew Stapera, both are East Coasters, we're seeing some great competitive development, and when we're out here having the display of curling with Team Dunham and Team Dunn on the ice today, we're really excited about having them come share that with us. And as somebody who wants to be competitive myself, seeing some great curling development from the junior level here at Plainfield, having the experience to both, either play or watch, we're really excited about it. So what you are seeing right now, it looks like we're seeing a hit and roll from Scott Dunham on Skip's first rocks. Just a good solid hit and roll behind covers. There's enough guards that just want to try to make sure that they get enough heat on this, they can roll and not lose their shooter. So we got Scott Dunham coming out. Scott Dunham is the skip for competitive Dunham. He's actually playing with his brother both competitively and on the ice right now. Andy Dunham in the white Penn State hoodie. We will not hold that against him. Throughout today's event, we will get some people on the ice to actually maybe do a better job than me. Get some interviews from people who've been on the ice and who's competing. I'm excited about one particular junior that we're going to have come and banter a little bit, because we have 2 event finals already completed here this year. You can see those games on rebroadcast on YouTube, the B event and the D event finalists. The finals are already posted, where for the B event we had Team Theron skipped by Ivo Petrov, and was actually played by our competitive juniors for the Plainfield juniors, including Georgi Petrov and Michael Phillips. We also had Dylan Siapka also playing as well. I butchered that last name and I apologize. All right. It looks like there's a reattempt on the hit and roll for Scott Dunham's last. Good contact is needed. We don't want to see Dunham giving up a 2 by accident here. So he's prepping the ice, making sure that between the hogs it's nice and smooth. We've had some really great ice on the ice this weekend. Once it starts to straighten up a little bit, we get some nice finishing curl. Sorry, I got distracted by a tiny little nugget who is now dancing in the warm room, which is great and distracting. But here we go, Scott prepping the rock. For those of you interested in the Plainfield Curling Club, you can visit our website at njcurling.org. You'd also follow us on Facebook and also on Twitter under the same name, NJ Curling. And in the warm room right now, we are currently presenting the awards for the D event and the B event finals and the winners. In the warm room, looks like we're going for Cody Clausard's last rock for the second end. Just wanted to make sure we get some good clearance on that, a nice hit. If hit and stick would be great, you get the blank going into the third. And if there's anything that Cody was able to demonstrate the best this weekend, was throwing the high heater. It was great to see, and unfortunately not be on the wrong side of things, but we got a good blank on sheet 2. We're going into the third end, 0-0, with Team Dunn maintaining the hammer moving forward. while we are getting Mark Wheeler set up to throw lead rocks, I just want to take a moment right now as we are presenting the 4th event finalists trophies. Right now we have the runners-up in the warm room. It's important for us to keep in mind a former member that we had at the club, Earl Conrad. Earl Conrad was a living legend devoted to Plainfield Curling Club, and this year we named the 4th event in his honor. So I hope people listening on the live stream now or listening to a rebroadcast takes a moment to think of Dugan, Earl Conrad, and all that he's done and all that he stands for. This year there is a one-off pin that is specifically for Earl Conrad Memorial, which is the shield that Plainfield's logo has. And on the logo, it is a red-handled stone with suspenders, a logo for the the United States Air Force, as well as a veteran's ball cap that he is known for wearing. So this year's winner of the inaugural Earl Conrad Trophy, or Earl Conrad Shield, I should say, is Team Link Hefner. Congratulations to them. Sheet 1, starting out with leads rocks. We're looking at no guards in play. Mark Wheeler throwing his second leads rocks right now. We were very excited about having this new 4th event dedication to Dugan, and during the award ceremony that we have for the PCC Stone on Friday, where we commemorated and congratulated our 5-year players and 10-year players who played at the event for a certain amount of time, we had Dugan's son come and give a few words, and we toasted in his honor. So this event, which is the first time we've had it since COVID started, the pandemic started, it was great to have that opportunity to give Earl Conrad the dues that he definitely deserves. And now in the warm room, we are off presenting the awards for the B event. First loss in the first event, and then goes on to go undefeated for the rest of the tournament. This year's B event runners-up is Barry Klein. Barry Klein was brought down to the B event in this first game against Team Young, and continued a hot streak that unfortunately came up a little short in the finals. Right now on the sheets, sheet B looks to be on first set of skips rocks with Steven Zempel. They're sitting one in the house. It looks really congested if you take a look at the action on their sheet. Right now on sheet A, we've got Team Dunham sitting 2 in the house without guards. Team Dunham needing to make a play here to ensure that those 2 do not become a headache later on down the road. Looks to be a nice little nose double, the way that it's lined up right now. Brian Dunn playing second, also calling the game. Makes great contact, hits nose. Unfortunately, he just didn't get the double that they were looking for. So good contact from Brian. Looks to be that it's just going to be a nice little hit and roll over for Mike Dunham. Mike Dunham playing second on Team Dunham. Family affair with a straggler, Mark Wheeler. looks like we got same weight call for Brian. Just nice little takeout. Maybe roll a hit and stick here. Get rid of that red. Throw that Visine shot. Get the red out. And in the warm room, we are about to present our B event winners. Team Fearon, skipped by Ivo Petrov, and featuring a trio of juniors who are our U18 competitive juniors, including Dylan, Georgi, and Michael. They actually had U18 GNCC playdowns a few weekends ago, and this is their the last event that they have currently on the books right now. They played excellent, and we were really excited to see the level of curling that we're seeing from our U18s, and we're really excited to see them moving forward. Competitively, they are skipped by Jeffrey Fearon. Jeff, if you're listening, a big hello, and we miss you. Jeff unfortunately had to deal with a COVID positive test, and we are wishing him and his family the best at this time. But it was great to see Ivo Petrov step up, and he has been a great coach for these U18ers. As also, I've been their coach as well, and I can just tell you from experience that this group of four have been amazing, and I could not be more proud of them. So if you ever get a chance to check them out, please do so. We got Daniel Dunn throwing Vice Rocks. Looks to be trading hits yet again. There's nothing really panning out on sheet 1 in terms of getting some level of guards in play. It seems like we're just waiting for, I'm not going to say we're waiting for a mistake, but we're waiting for openings here. We've had some opportunities, and with the second end, we saw some guards in play, but just never used. And seems like we're content on just trading hits until we get a good idea of when to pounce. So here we go with Andy Dunham, brother to Scott. Nice delivery. We have an update for you all on our C event after 2 ends. Actually, I want to take that back. We just finished, but we do not have. All right, it is Mark Mooney still has the lead. Zempel taking 1 in the second event. In the second end, I should say, sorry. Another hit from Daniel Dunn on sheet 1. Now, if you're paying attention to the YouTube stream, you're going to see that that yellow did not actually get anywhere close to moving to the center. It is a very, very shallow guard to maybe the 12-foot by the tee line. So I believe that the play here is to try to draw behind it, try to generate their deuce right now.
if anyone wants to know some excellent stick curling, I'd definitely suggest watching the Yobs play, because they are just extremely talented curlers who I miss curling with on the regular. Cody Clausard right now throwing a nice little, hopefully hitting stick on the red. Ideally, if he hits and rolls over to the center line. Sweepers on it, calling it a little down from what they were expecting. But it looks to be a nice nose hit. Scott lined up for what appears to be a hit here. We're hearing a lot of clean, a lot of sweep, a lot of clean, so line looks pretty good for what they're expecting for the hit. We got a nice good hit right here. Cody Clausard for hammer shot. Looks going to be a nice little hit and roll out. Let's keep that blank going. Finally got a score on the scoreboard right now. Changing of over hammer. So after 3, Dunn 1, Dunham 0, Dunham taking the hammer in the 4th left. Charlie Vest throwing these rocks in a good garden. One thing I want to comment on, Charlie Vest is a first-year curler out of Brooklyn Lakeside Curling Club. I had an opportunity to play against Team Dunn. Charlie has done a fantastic job as a first year, showing great composure. His lines were great, his hits were great. Still demonstrating some first-year kinks in the game, figuring out how to get adjusted and everything, but I want to just congratulate Charlie for a really successful weekend. Looking forward to seeing what more he can do moving forward. He got really lucky having an opportunity to come and play, and I hope that he has taken advantage of the learning experience that he has. So I personally am also jealous of the opportunity to play on such a talented team. I had a wonderful team this weekend that I just cannot talk enough about how great and exciting it was. And this whole event, we were seeing some great men's curling. First time we've had this zone since the pandemic. Some backstory, actually. The start of the pandemic actually caught us in the middle of the 2020 stone. So we didn't have the 2021 stone, so this is our first stone back. Consider it somewhat of a restart to what we were experiencing 2 years ago. I have been asked to state a "I'm not a bot" challenge in the chat room. I refuse to participate, which means that I am, in fact, not a bot. We got a tight-looking guard here.
A beautiful 3-guard thrown by Charlie. And it looks like Scott Dunham's going on the attack, getting one of the house. Barry right behind, looks like top 4, right behind the guard. Mark Wheeler throwing his second, calling, getting that draw in. It looks like it was sweeping for holding that line. Andy switched over to make sure to help out and get that good line on there. Seems like they're going to get past that guard. Now is just trying to make sure that they get buried enough. And it looks like it's about half buried. Maybe they can see 3/4 of it possibly. Calling for a board weight hit from Brian. While we're getting situated in the 4th end, let's see if we can do this correctly. Joining me for a little bit is the vice for the B event winners, Team Farron. This is Michael Phillips. Michael, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Oh, we're actually getting some really interesting information from the chat room. First off, Mary Cognetta, you are very welcome. Also, if you think I'm doing a good job on commentary, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Charlie Vest is Cody Clausard's future brother-in-law. Hello, Lori. And hello, Mary Cognetta.
You are doing a wonderful job with the voicing.
I am trying my best. I'm getting distracted by Tiny Baby Nugget, who I think is adorable and who has yet to smile at me this entire weekend.
Hello, Tiny Baby Nugget.
So while we're watching, I want to get some perspective from Michael. Michael, let's talk about the big thing right quick, which is this is you aged out of U18s.
Yes, this was my last big game before I aged out of the under-18 division.
You went into U18s, little on the back foot, didn't get a lot of reps in compared to a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience, the past month in going to doing the U21 event. You did a U21 event. It wasn't for a trophy, but it was really great experience for you on the competitive level. You also played the U18, the chances you played downs after that. Talk a little bit about the last experiences that you've had in your U18 experience.
Yeah, so over the past couple competitions, like U21s, U18s, being at U21s as somebody who went into it just for the experience and not necessarily for the trophy, it was a great experience and a great eye-opener into what my next big competition is going to be, since I've recently aged out of U18s. And being at U18s, especially with my recent injury to my knee, it was difficult adapting, and I wasn't able to play a lot in the important games, I would say, because the U18s, to me, I was really focused on going to those nationals, but my injury on my knee, it just didn't really allow for that. I wasn't able to play more than half a game out of the 5 that we played, and it was an emotional time for me, because I really wanted to be there. I wanted to support my team, and I did what I could from the sidelines.
We've got a board weight hit, hopefully a hit and stick for, not hit and stick, but a flop over behind a guard and try to at least maintain some pressure in the house, hitting 3 for Dunham. Now we got some work from Dunt here, making sure there's a double. He's looking like he's lining up for the double. The double is definitely a possibility. We just want to make sure that we get both of the reds out there. So, Mike.
Yes.
B event winner. First off, how do you feel?
It feels great to leave the U18s on a win. Even if it's not, a event final, like being able to take home that second place, or that third place, I suppose, that's, even just placing that podium is a really good feeling for me. It's a great confidence boost going into my next U21 career.
Now let's talk a little bit about, juniors, because from your perspective, you're out here looking at what GNCC juniors development can give you. When you look at the fact that you got the Dunhams out there who are East Coasters, you got Cody Clausard out there, you've got the Dunts out there. Are you excited about what your potential could be and seeing what East Coasters are doing compared to what we've traditionally seen out of the Midwest and now when we're looking at development in the West?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like seeing the type of players, especially from this club, like this kind of middle of nowhere, off to the side club. Like right now, we have 2-3 people on the ice who competed in the Olympic trials. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like just those guys being here is a great inspiration for me. Because being someone who wants to reach that level and hopefully go to the Olympics one day, like knowing that these guys are here at my local club, like that's wonderful. Because I know that all the experience that I could ever need is right here.
So we've got currently we got Dan Dunn sitting, getting ready to throw his second Vice Rocks. Dunham has got some pressure going on right now. Sitting 3 without, sitting 3 with Hammer. Dan's got some work to do here, making sure that they sit favorable. Sheet 2, again, Sheet 2 doesn't have a commentary broadcast, but they are being broadcast live stream on YouTube right now, so go check them out. Looking at a pretty, I wouldn't say relatively open. We don't see any guards in play right now, but we got some guards in play here in Sheet 1. Looks to be a nice attempt at the double again. They didn't get the double last time. I got Michael sitting beside me, just standing up just to make sure they can see if the double is still on the got good contact on 1,
and
2,
they got it.
And they got the double.
Yeah.
Great. Shot Rock does it. Shot Rock is still exposed, so the question is going to be, you nose hit that. If you do the nose hit from the red, it's not going to be great for you because you're only going to be sitting 1. Would you say the nose hit's probably the best shot for Dunham right now to set up a guard that they could draw behind later, or are you thinking maybe the hit and flop over for a counter?
I was going to say the hit and flop. I'm not sure how I feel about a nose hit. We had a very similar situation in our last game, and the nose hit worked for us. But it's a different team, it's different ice. I'm not sure how they operate. But
we got Andy Dunham here, setting good throw here. They're really close. A lot of woes coming out, checking for line.
Got the nose.
Got the flop, and hopefully for a little. All right, so
it's close. There's about an inch in there.
Yeah, it's enough for the double because if you throw the cheat code, the cheat code hit. I mean, like. I'm sorry, I'm trying to force a nickname here. I just was told during the last game that Cody Clausard's nickname is Cheat Code. So for those of you listening, it's down, up, AB, AB. Just gonna throw some heater at this. It's set up nicely. It's set up nicely, wouldn't you say, that if you get the double on it, you hit just, you cross the nose a little bit. You got, with normal weight, you can still manage to get behind to the left-hand side. So it looks like it'd be like a good double and then roll over behind the guards.
Yeah, if they hit it thin enough, they have that double, and they could potentially roll over.
Cody Clausard with his first. They call on the sweep. Just gets the double, but it sticks around a little bit.
That's not bad either, because now they could throw a guard up later, depending on how Red responds.
Well, Scott's first looks to be an attempt at the hit and roll over. We want to make sure that we get to use those guards. The second end, there was a similar guard situation. They just couldn't get the roll. They couldn't get to capitalize on those guards. We want to make sure, ideally, if you want to get your deuce at this high level, we want to make sure we see those guards being used. We don't want to sit another end where, you had them and just didn't get anything out of it.
Right here, I'm not sure the shot being called, but this looks like either peel ice for the inside out or draw.
Well, it looks like it's going to be
It's going to be a draw.
It's going to be an intern. Update for everybody on Sheet 2 for our C event final. Mark Mooney takes a deuce. Oh, that just sounded really bad. Takes a 2 spot in the third end. Mark Mooney, sitting red, is
and they get
up
the
4-1. We got a great hit and roll on Sheet 1 here. Exactly what they needed. taking a look now. Let's see if I can bring that over for everybody to see now. Taking a look at the house, it definitely looks like the Denim Rock is fully buried. Looks like it has to be an attempt to outdraw that. The guards are situated in a way you might not be able to see it on the screen right now, but there's a red rock that is just making sure that the yellow is actually only half shown. So it looks like it's going to be chasing it down, getting a draw.
And having that yellow half uncovered, Rob, was actually something that you taught us, where for those who don't know, watching the stream, Rob here has been the coach of myself and Team Fearon for the past however many years now.
I did not pay him to say all of this, and Mike just reminded me to send you the check later.
Yes, always.
It was my absolute honor to act as a coach for such an incredible set of boys, young men, I should say. The draw's looking great. You passed the guard, but unfortunately it just had a little bit too much steam on it, and we see Scott defensively sweeping it out. It is
not going to go all the way out.
Not going to go all the way out. We got a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a biter. It looks solid 12. But it's enough for Dunham to start working on a draw for 2. Give that crooked number up going into the midway point of the game.
This right here looks like a pretty simple draw for a deuce, but yeah, this is hammer.
This is a hammer shot from Scott Dunham.
It's wide open house, but we gotta make sure that they're on it.
I will say the one thing that I like about Plainfield is that the ice has been consistent. I will say that once you run a couple lines down, it speeds up really quickly, wouldn't you say?
Yes. There are one or two like chips in the ice that were very, very damaging to some of the rocks that were thrown, especially during my games. But as of right now, like the last game I played, everything was solid. The ice was predictable.
Scott Dunham giving it to his sweepers, looking really good on the draw for 2, making sure that it's there. They just need to make sure they're sitting full 12. It looks like it's there, and he's cleaning.
And he has it.
Great deuce on sheet 1. And now now that we're at the middle of our game, we're doing an 8-end final here. We got Scott Dunham up 2-1, maintaining hammer in the even numbered ends, which is where you want to be right now.
I did not notice that they had blanked.
Oh, it was a blankathon. It was a blankathon the first 2. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you weren't paying attention because you were too busy celebrating your B event win. Which,
I was
congratulations
doing that.
on that.
I was doing that. I like this bullet coming down on sheet 2.
Enough separation on that, though, that you couldn't get the multiple on that one. Mike Malarowski is a newer member of our club. I want to say he's under 5 right now, under 5 years. But Mike Malarowski has showed tremendous progress in his development here, taking to curling very seriously, which I respect and look forward to playing with Malarowski in the future. Right now, we got in sheet 2, we got veteran Bill Nickel, who is playing vice for Mark Mooney, coming in. Looks to be a draw to put some pressure on center line to sit 4. A guard's going to work nicely. I think that's actually the call is a 3 guard, but if they end up maybe biting, that'd be nice for them as well. But we got lead rocks going on here in our first event final for the PCC Stone. Our yearly men's bonspiel hosted here at the Plainfield Curling Club in South Plainfield, New Jersey. I am Robert Young. With me temporarily right now is Michael Phillips.
Hello.
Seeing Charlie Vest throwing his lead rocks. I believe that's the first lead rock that we're seeing here.
Yes, these are the first lead rocks
for Team Dunn.
Looks like they're going for a draw.
The attempt at the draw is there. Hopefully that it doesn't curl over, that if it's going to be a guard, we want to make sure that it's a corner guard, if anything, right now. Just comes up short. Doesn't stagger too badly on the center line, so that if the needing to pop out some guards is there, it's still available to them.
And this is very similar to the type of game that we were playing in our last game, where a lot of it was revolving around setting up a guard and then just tapping that up every shot.
So since you are on sheet 1, can you talk to us a little bit about ice conditions? What did you notice on the ice at this halfway point? You know, fourth and fifth end. You know, what would we expect the curlers to be adapting to on the ice right now?
A lot of swing towards the end of that rock, like right around, especially going towards the boards right now. There always has been a lot of swing at the end of the rock, like a lot of curl within those last 3 feet. Otherwise, there's not much to be looking at. It's a lot of it is watching out for picks as always. This sweeping can really affect the rock on this ice right now. I noticed that when I was out there sweeping, I was able to get a lot of solid direction on it, depending on if you wanted to curl or if you wanted to straight.
Charlie's second being swept for line hard. It looks like it's a little up on the weight and might have been pinched in a hair. Collins sweep, trying to make sure that it doesn't overcurl. It might have even been possibly picked, but I think it was mostly a narrow throw. Turns it into a high center guard. I'm sorry, a high corner guard. Not viewable on the screen right now. Oh, wait. Nope. You all can see it. I'm sorry, I'm looking at 2 different views of the house right now. So you can see that high 2 guard. Definitely can be usable. Definitely can be usable for sure if you're sitting, if you're teamed up right now. But Dunham is sitting 1 right now, controlling that center line, which is where you want to be right now. And we've got Mike, which I believe is throwing his first.
In this silence, I shall take the opportunity to bid my adieus and, no, yes?
Yeah, of course. I want to congratulate you again on your B event. I want to also commend you for your bounce back from your injury. I think you've done a great job. If anybody's listening to the broadcast now, it's 2022. You know, if you're listening to a rebroadcast of this, just let you know that we've got some great, juniors who are looking for, opportunities to compete either on the collegiate level, as we're seeing this weekend right now with USA Curling's Collegiate Cup going on right now, or U21 development. So, Mike, I am rooting for you. I'm excited about seeing what you're going to do moving forward. Thank you very much for taking this time to come and talk with me. And again, congratulations on the B event. That's got to feel really good after this. It does feel good.
Yeah. It does feel nice, especially after all that we've been through with loss after loss. It's been a really nice change.
If you are a plain fielder, make sure you show our UA team some love in the near future. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
All right. Returning back to action, I really want to thank Michael Phillips yet again for coming over, getting a gigantic bear hug from this young man before he heads out. We see Mike Dunham setting up for his next shot. I just want to remind everybody that if you're ever interested in more information about the Jersey, I was about to say Pinelands, I apologize, the Plainfield Curling Club, you can visit us at njcurling.org. We are also active on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram. You will find a tiny little baby Yoda as the avatar that we use for our social media. So little tiny, we're the only ones, I think, that don't exclusively use our logo for our social media avatar, but we try to be fun as best as we can here. We got a guarding situation right now. Dunham guarding up their shot rock, and we got a stagger guard situation on the center line for Dunn. Dunn trying to figure out what the best course of action right now. They need to get their double right now. They need to get their deuce. They also need to be able to give themselves an opportunity for a blank if they need to do so. So we're seeing a lot of conversation right now, making sure what our good plans are. Right now, there needs to be some clearance here. They need to get rid of a lot of these guards. I mean, one could argue that those two center line yellows are could be helpful in the future, But right now, there's just too many, guards sitting high for anybody to feel comfortable with trying to shoot for a deuce right now. So, Brian throwing the heat here. We got Cody on the clean. Good attempt on the double clearance, but unfortunately just stuck around a little bit. You lose a shooter, which is good. Less rocks up the front, the better.
It's going to be hard to get up there. Yeah, I'm just thinking like, edge on edge up here is pretty good.
Scott making a play for a biter, top 12 biter. Which is great for them, because if they end up light, you're just clogging up the center line, which the yellows are already doing, but just adding a little bit more pressure to it. Also, sitting top 12 would be great. You're sitting two, no clear way of removing the primary shot, the issue shot. So Andy Dunham with his first beautiful delivery. I'm jealous. I wish I could get that low. I'm working on it. Lions looking really good. Sweepers staying close, making sure that they are getting the weight that they need. Looks a little hot, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. We're looking at full coverage here. Just about 4 feet deeper than he wanted to be, but when you're pretty much, it looks about 90% buried. Can't hit on that. Looks like Dunt needs to make a play on those guards. They need to get rid of those 2 center guards, because it is just... Dan Dunt currently working on his PhD at Princeton. Getting ready to get set for his first throw for the 5th end. I am without a secondary commentator, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw a question in the chat room, send me a text message. You could also throw messages on our Twitter at NJ Curling. I was really excited to see other clubs come out for this Bonspiel. We did have a majority Plainfield teams, as you would expect, but to see curlers come out from Jersey Pinelands, the Philadelphia clubs. So we had some members from the Philadelphia Curling Club, the Bucks County Curling Club, members from the Potomac Curling Club in Maryland. They came down. It was nice to see curlers come out as we are starting to feel more comfortable in these new times right now. Feeling like as if we can come and participate in new Bonspiels. It's nice to see. It's nice to come back and have a sense of, or at least as normal as we can, coming out and curling is always important. Andy Dunham setting up. We got sitting 2 Dunham without hammer. It's looking like a really good setup right now. And I don't see anybody in the warm room telling me that I'm doing a bad job, so I'm just going to keep blathering. I'm being heckled by somebody who I heard my name and he said something, but I couldn't hear it because I have headphones on. So, I mean, good on you, mate. All right. So Team Dunt here has an issue here. 2 red counters, high center guard, and a staggered yellow guard situation on the center line. Trying to get a multiple is always the key here. They still have plenty of time. The question is just going to be what are going to be the benefits to this. It looks like it's going to be a peel. Looks to be a high heat raise. Hopefully for multiple takeouts, it's going to try to peel as much as we can here. Action on sheet 2 in the C event final. We have an update for everybody. We have Mark Mooney stealing 1, so we now have on sheet 2. Mooney is up 5-1 going into the 5th. All right, sweepers are on it. On Dunt's second rock, you got contact, but a little bit too much of a curl. You peel off a little bit. You're trying to open up that center line. They definitely did that. So at least the primary objective of opening that center line up was met. Dunham probably going to be happy just to do it again, and that's exactly the call. It looks like it's going to be nice to 2. We want to try to make sure it's a higher guard here. Anything closer is just going to allow for more rocks to move. So a high 2 guard here would be great. But Dunham's in a really good spot right now. Depending on how great this guard's looking, we might be, looking for a fight for 1 here. So. Scott Dunham in the house. His first. Line's looking good. A lot of good communication. Andy early on said it's hit a little warm. Just keep it a nice broom down. Make sure it's cleaned for any picks. Split time. I got hog to hog of about 16 seconds, which was a really good guard. Just carries a little bit. It's a good guard. There's not really as much of a port. They might try to play the port there, but their object right now was what can we do with those 2 yellow guards? We can get rid of those. The discussion right now seems to be, let's just get rid of the red. Let's get rid of that center guard that Scott just threw in his first. Try to open this up as best as possible. And again, it's a little bit deeper than that first guard that was thrown on Andy's last. But the question is going to be, what kind of positive bonus can we get out of this? So primary objective, make good contact on that red guard that Scott just threw. And any bonus that they can get out of that would be great. Just try to minimize those guards there. I'm going to be timing this. I feel like this is going to be cheat code weight here, so. Looking good on the release, looking good straight. It's about 8 seconds, a good peel weight on there. Made contact on the shooter. Made contact on the shot rock, I should say. Dunham is still sitting 1 right now. Center guard would still make it difficult for a blank. So the question is going to be, do we want to go for the guard or do we want to put some pressure? Sitting at most top 8. I kind of like the top 8 here. I kind of like, biting top 8 would be really great for Scott. Forcing them into the force would be absolutely fantastic. Forcing 1, opportunity steal 2, but you definitely want to make sure that your shooter is in the house. Maximize that pressure. Action on sheet 2. John Gephardt throwing what appears to be his second. Mark Mooney is currently sitting 1, asking for a guard. I want to just take a moment here to shout out the work that John Gephardt has done as commentator through this weekend. I have very big shoes to fill. John Gephardt has done a brilliant job. He is a great curler. Nothing more than a giant bundle of positive energy. I've never heard John Gephardt say anything bad about anyone. He brings everybody up around him, and we are grateful for the, oh no, he heard that I'm talking about him, and he's now in the warm room. So I hope he's, Scott Dunham throwing his last. We got Andy calling that we need a little bit, which is fine. Anything, a guard's good, but getting into the house would be really nice. We got Andy broom down on it. Everyone's now pausing, watching to see what the red's going to do. Red is definitely in the house, but it's not buried. So here's the question right now. Do we want to go for the attempted double to blanket, or do we go for the one? Because it does make the draw path. The draw path is very difficult now. You have to basically just try to find a way to go around that red that Scott just threw. But that yellow guard is going to really mess with the line call here. So trying to figure out, is the draw the better one, or is the cross house double? And it looks like they're lining up the double. Making good contact. I mean, if you get the double, that's great. Getting the double for the blank would be amazing. Hitting and sticking for like the double and then sticking around for one isn't the end of the world because you're tied up. I like the risk here. I like it because even if you give up one, you get the hammer back. Cody setting up for the delivery. Looking good. Sweepers down. Holding that line. There's the contact. Oh, seemed to just got right under it. Looking at the replay right now. Close on the line, really hard to get that double, just gets right underneath it. Dunham stealing one. We are now, after 5 ends, Dunham up 3-1, with Dunn having hammer in the even ends. Scott Dunham telling his lead, Mark Wheeler, we want to get an intern centerline guard. Very little turnover time here between ends, which is great. We want to try to get our 8 ends in. During this year's Bonspiel, we had a hour 35, so that you would finish up with the end that you're on one more, which is really nice. A lot of teams managed to get their 8 ends, which is great. I don't know if anyone can correct me, but I think we only had one instance this entire weekend where there was some bonus curling. An extra end was just once. It was Sullivan versus Young. We do not want to talk about the result of that game. It was a great game between Sullivan and Young. The bonus curling was great, and then leading right into the leads competition. Speaking of the leads competition, every year during the Stone, Friday night we have our award ceremony, and Saturday night we decide that we want to put our leads on display, because as a competitive lead, I can tell you right now that we don't get a lot of love. When you watch broadcast, when you watch Canadian curling, leads throws are either not seen or they're seen with commercial. And we decided every year, why not give them some love? So on Saturday nights during the Stone, we have a leads competition, watching for some great draws, come-arounds, ticks, and a display of sweeping. And this year, the A event has our leads competition winner, so congratulations to Mark Wheeler. Mark Wheeler on Team Dunham took this year's lead competition, and it's nice to see quality leads out there, getting their dues, getting the love that they deserve. Thank your leads, ladies and gentlemen, and all those listening. Your leads, as a lead, I love this. I love the position. It's fun. We are more than just the broom holders. All right, we got Charlie. Speaking of leads, we got Charlie about ready to throw his second for Dunn. Trying to set up some sort of defense so we can get those points in there. We really need to get those guards in play here. And we got Dan Dunn on the sweep right now. Charlie helping out for the curl. It's been absolutely fun watching Cody and Dan sweep. and watching Andy sweep. We have some tremendous sweeping talent out there. Unfortunately, we got ourselves a hog rock, and we also have a situation where Dan Dunt is now the color of his fleece jacket, working as best as he could on that one. You hate to see a hog rock this late into the game. But Dunham sitting 2 center line guards staggered, asking second Mike Dunham to draw one in. Let's maximize that pressure. Currently, we got 6 people watching on the live stream. Hello, everybody. I hope you are not. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful time with this event final. Also, don't forget to check out the C event final. That's happening on sheet 2. Mike Dunham coming up just a hair short on the draw, but we get themselves a nice little lined up guard situation. So now it's just a race to get inside, chasing the draws right now. Dan asking Brian to draw behind those guard situations. Let's get those points. If we don't have those guards, if they're not yellow guards, let's still use them anyway. So Brian taking the in-turn approach, making sure that they can get to those draws. At least get something in the house. Getting something in the house would be great right now. Sweepers are on. So it seems to be a line, holding that line. Weight's looking a little on the downside here. Just coming up short. Looks to be a 1, possibly a 2 guard there. So the question for Scott's going to be best way to go into the house. Or maybe pop in some guards to make sure that they don't give themselves too much of a problem later down the road. Question right now about the promote. I like the play on the promotes. You know, the guard situation is great. You don't need to worry about peeling guards. You don't need to worry about going after a draw if you don't need to. Plus, great plan Bs. If you're wide with a good weight, you'll still be able to draw behind. But here we go with Mike's second shot. Good delivery. Got Andy. Broom down. Mark helping him out. I really hope I said Mark Wheeler, not Mike Wheeler. I'm really hoping I said Mark Wheeler now that I'm thinking about it in hindsight. I got a thumbs up from the warm room, so good. Got a promote. Oh, beautiful promote. We're sitting biting top 4, completely buried. Looking real good. Nicely done from the second on Dunham. Now we're looking at clearances from Team Dunt here. Let's get rid of those reds. Again, get those reds out off the center line. Ideally, we want to get rid of as much as we can and roll our shooter. We need to open this up as best as we can. And this is a royal we. I am not on anyone's team. I just like to say we a lot to feel more inclusive. All right. Brian Dunt with the heat. Good contact. Oh, beautiful pick out. We no longer have anything in play. Good run back. Nothing in the house. Still got some guards to deal with. Scott's immediately going straight into the house. There's a port there that they can draw through. Got a comment in here. Hello from Lori Dunham. Hello, Lori. I assume you know Cody is the cousin of Scott and Andy. I did know that, but I also don't want to mess anything up on the live stream, so I guess the confirmation is nice to remind myself. But we got a family affair all the way around here. It's great. Thanks, Lori. And I also want to thank you very much for being on the chat room. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I hope you're enjoying the live stream. And anything I say you're not holding against me. I appreciate that. Getting some help out from the skipper. Gotta love when the skip sweeps, even if it is just for 2 feet. But we're looking at about maybe half exposed. Brian calling for the hit and roll from Dan. Dan's first rocks here. Middle of the 6th end. We are currently on Skips Rocks on sheet 2 for the C event final. Where I believe we've got Zempel facing, I want to say 2. But right now we got Dan Dunt, soon to be Dr. Dunt. Throwing for board. We got sweepers on it right now, making sure that they get good for the line, calling off, staying close, calling for curl on it, making sure that we get the contact and the roll. You got the contact. Good roll, but still leaves it exposed. Fully exposed right now. And Scott Dunham is checking it out to make sure what the hit and roll situation looks like there. C event update. Mark Mooney takes another steal. So after 5 ends in the C event final on sheet 2, Mooney is up 6-1. Andy Dunham here, the first event final, going for the hit. Hit and roll would be great. We got contact on the hit. Hopefully staying around, but we got Brian Dunt sweeping it out. Got contact. Didn't get the stick that they were hoping for on the roll. So we are back now to an open house with, I would say like a couple big holes in the guard situation, enough that they can still get around. The question right now is just going to be which direction they would want to go into, or if they want to just do a promote right now. And that's what Brian looks like he's queuing up right now. We got a conversation here between the Dunts right now. One person wanting the split, but Daniel's taking a look at maybe going after the intern draw. The intern situation has 3 really favorable guards for it if you get the draw. We've already seen the draw attempt 2 times on this end in this direction. So here he goes, setting up for his second. Again, I just want to congratulate our B and D event, our second and fourth event winners and runners up, just for those of you who are coming in not knowing the updates on the B event final today. Those who, we had Team Farron, skipped by Ivo Petrov, taking the B event final over Team Klein, Barry Klein. And in the D event final, we had the Link Hefner rink over Beltry Link. Dunt is pronounced Dut. Oh, so I don't pronounce the second D, is that correct? My apologies. Thank you for correcting me. I really appreciate it. I don't like messing up anybody's name, so Team Dut. So we got Scott now. After a draw that ended up being a 1 guard, just a little bit further out there, just not the right weight. Scott's looking, I want to say looking at a promote here for Team Dunham. Dunham, just from body language alone, Scott's looking real comfortable out there, so. Speaking of Scott's, I want to just take this moment right now to thank our coordinator of the PCC this year. We had a change in coordinators, and I want to thank, if they're listening, Bruce Melcher for all the work Bruce had done with the stone in the past, and we're very grateful for all the work that they've done. Nice promote here from Scott Dunham, keeping the guard situation, getting that promote behind cover. Looking really good. The draw path doesn't look like it's there. There's got to be a way to, they got to get rid of something to open up that draw path. To respond to somebody, I can't tell who that is in the chat room, but Rob, I don't know who that Rob is. This Rob is the current commentator, has 2 Bs. I don't know who this Rob with 1 B is. But yes, it is Rob, Robert Young. Hi, everybody. To go back to what I was saying earlier, I want to actually take the time to thank Scott DePalma for being the coordinator for this year. Like I said, I wanted to thank Bruce for the work that they had done in the past, but Scott Dunham has done a great job, not only being a coordinator, but also playing as a vice for Team Young. It was my honor to have him play on my team this year. I love playing with Scott. Scott and I have been playing together for years, and it was really wonderful. This is my second stone, and with the team that I've had a chance to play with, I'm really glad that I got to play with Scott. He did a great job coordinating. So, if you're a playing fielder, make sure you get Scott a drink because he has absolutely earned it. Cody Clausard coming up a little wide on the draw path, crashing on the guard. They're sitting second shot, but we still have Scott Dunham sitting first shot right now behind coverage. No clue I had 2 Bs. Funny story, I used to wait tables when I was in high school, and I used to work at a restaurant that did a kids' night, and whenever a kid asked me how do I say my name, I said my name is Rob. So if you want to see something funny, watch a bunch of 6 and 7-year-olds say Rob, trying to figure it out. But yeah, here to offer some lighter commentary. My goal in life is to be Dean Gemmel. Dean Gemmel, who has worked as an announcer for USA Curling, has done a magnificent job. I think we need to live in a world where there's more USA Curling events that are announced by Dean Gemmel. Let's just make that happen. If he could just be the commentator for all events, that'd be wonderful. NBC Sports, go and hire that man. Trying to offer commentary like him, knows what he's doing, does a great job. Mad respect for Dean Gemmel, a playing fielder himself. And now we got Scott Dunham with his last, trying to maximize pressure in the house. We got Andy Dunham saying back 4, line's looking good, but we need to get that curl in there. We want to make sure that we count and force. Sweepers are on, saying they can't hurt it. Checking up just a little bit, weight's looking good. You got Andy on the sweep. Andy on the sweep hard, buddy. And it is looking like they got their sitting shot 1 and 2. So Dunham sitting 2. A nose hit on the one they just threw isn't going to help them any. Nose hit's just going to keep them, is going to be a steal of 1 here. So it's looking to be just a draw. Just a draw for their 1. Even if they over curl and touch the red end, it's not going to add more to the count of 2. So they got to go for the draw for 1. So good end from Scott Dunham's team to the rink, the Dunham rink. Did a great job making sure to use those guards in play, put some pressure on the Dunham rink, and Cody Clausard throwing hammer in the 6th. Cleaning on Cody's hammer shot. Dan Dunn on the sweep now for line. Looks like it's checking up on weight just a hair. Calling for the curl. It's curling now. Looking really good. And there you have it. Cody can hit. Cody can finesse it. Cody can draw. Looking really good out there. Dunn gets their single. Sorry, Dutt, their single. Dunham still has the advantage, 3-2 going into the 7th. And with hammer. So the question right now, we've seen 2 ends to start that were blanks. And as a big curling fan and also as a math and science nerd paying attention to analytics lately, the question right now is, how do you want to play this? Do you want to go for the blank? Keep that hammer advantage going into the 8th? You want to maximize? So the question right now is not only what Dunham wants, but what does Dunt want as well? Do they want to, because there are people that have said that going 1 without hammer, going down 1 with hammer in the last is an advantage, which they talk that it's an advantage, but I haven't seen it, especially at a local level ice with the teams and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what the choice is going to be in the 7th. And of course, you know, as somebody who loves competitive curling and trying to get into it, learning a lot about these strategy calls and the decisions have been eye-opening here at the Plainfield Curling Club. So we're seeing some really great curling going on right now. And in this game, we've only had one instance of a deuce. We've got a lot of singles, got got at least one steal, a couple blanks. Low scoring game, but definitely some good curling out there. An update for everybody on the C event. We are already in the last of our Vice Rocks. Bill Nickel is throwing his last Vice Rock for Team Mooney. Team Mooney is currently sitting 3 in front of the house. There might be it's not really a biter, but we got, Mooney is either drawing to put pressure for 4 or even a guard, but it's looking like a solid red house for Mooney right now. Brian Dunt, who's been throwing second rocks but's been calling the game here for Team Dutt, asking for a guard from Charlie. Just as a reminder to everybody to please take a few minutes to check out our website at njcurling.org. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We do not have a TikTok, but I have a very funny feeling that if you ask someone to do it at this club, we'll probably have 3 different TikTok accounts. I also want to just remind everybody that in April we will have our traditional end-of-season Bondsqueal. Our Bondsqueal is a destination Bondsqueal for everybody in the Mid-Atlantic to come and just have a great end-of-season party. And this year's theme, we're having a Viking theme, Valhaga, coordinated by Bev Wiederman. Very excited that we're finally going to have the 2020 Bondsqueal, only 2 years after the fact, holding on to all the Viking gear that we can to make sure that we go absolutely crazy on the decorations, themes, and the fun. So if you get a chance, check us out. We'll be live streaming that event as well. We're very excited to have our end-of-season Bondsqueal, followed by, hopefully, some keg curling. You've heard that here, folks. We do have keg curling when we are about to do our melt. We are not a year-round club. We are a seasonal club. We typically do our melt in April, and the best way that we commemorate the melt is take all the empty kegs that we have all had a part in emptying and just throwing them and destroying the ice before it melts. Always a lot of fun playing for the Big Woody trophy, but we are all very excited to have our Bondsqueal coming up. For those of you who are not really they don't really know Plainfield very well, they don't know the traditions that we have or whatnot, you will notice in the back of the house, above the scoreboard, and to the left and the right of the scoreboard, you will see different murals. Every year, we put a new mural up on the back to commemorate the Bondsqueal theme, and we keep them up. So on sheet 1, on the side sheet 1, we have a Harry Potter-themed mural. On the right, we have a superhero-themed mural, and our back one is a Minions-themed one. So the last 3 themes, Bondsqueal-themed murals are up. They are gorgeous. You should definitely check them out. If I have an opportunity, I'm going to try to figure out a way to steal the Harry Potter one. I have yet to figure out a good way to steal it, but I will figure out a way to do so. But finishing up, so we've got 3 guards, 3 corner guards from the Dutreek. Dunham getting ready to throw his first set of seconds rocks from Mike. Gonna pop out some guards. That's a great idea. Get your second to throw some heat at these things. We don't want to see too many of our opposition guards in play. Andy on the sweep, calling line. Holding that line, gets a maximum contact in there. You have enough. If you get enough power on there, you'll be definitely be able to get a double. You got one out. You pushed out of the third, but you've kept your shooter as well. So there's still some guards in play that Dutt can work with. Looks like Dan Dunt acting as vice skip right now. Brian looks like he's going to be drawing right behind those guards, as one should. You got the advantage right now this end. Make sure that you can work with the guards that you're going to play. Let's maximize those points there. Sweepers furiously sweeping. Liking the ice, liking the line. Make sure that weight's favorable for them. Get right buried. T-line, top tee. Buried. Looks good. There's enough separation there that a good hack hit could possibly do it, and that's the call right now. Looks like it's going to be a hack at the shooter, and if they pop a guard, that's great too. But lining up for a good hack hit, going after it. This is the downside for being a little too deep on that draw. Is going to be if you get a good, nice, hack nose hit. You're sitting 2, having to play runbacks after that. So, Mike with his second, calling for straight on the line. Very sensitive line call here, making sure that you get that contact. Popping the guard. So good plan B, and there's a bonus to it as well. You got a nice little come in. So. We got Dunham sitting 1-3. Sorry, you said Dunham sitting 2-3 right now. But the shooter from Dutt, it's exposed. So the question is going to be go for the guard? Is it going to be a biter? Indicated it to be maybe top 12. I can't really tell. I think a guard would be nice as well, but going for the top 12, the full 12 would be really nice as well. But for Dan throwing his first. To our 13 people watching, hello everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, and I hope that daylight savings time did not mess you up like it did me. I currently do not know what time it is. However, I have nothing planned for today except to have fun, so I don't really care about what time it is. I'm just trying to get acclimated to the new time right now. So, Cody Clausard, who has done a magnificent job all weekend on the sweep. Making sure, and it looks like it is going to be a 3 guard. See Brian just coaxing it in. Cody just does not want to leave that broom off the ice. Good guard. Not fully blocking their shot rock, but it's enough to entice Scott into something. It doesn't. It keeps the repeat of the hack hit away. Scott can't do the same shot he just threw. So, if he can't do the same shot he just threw, then why not just go ahead and get rid of that guard? On sheet 2, a really great attempt at a in-off to sit 1 for Team Zempel. Steven doing a great job on the shot. Just came up just a hair, and it's handshakes on sheet 2. So we do have ourselves a C event winner. This year's Garden State Trophy winner is Team Mark Mooney. Team Mark Mooney. Lead, Patty Coburn. The second for Team Mooney is John Gephardt. The third is Bill Nickel, and the skip is Mark Mooney. I also want to take this time to congratulate Team Zempel on the work that they did to get to the C event final. The C event's always been a grind. They had to play 2 games today. Even with the 16-team draw, the C event still was a bit of a grind. So I want to give a shout out to our C event runners up, Ryan Zempel on lead, Mike Malarowski on second. Steven Zempel was throwing skips rocks, but was the vice skip for the game, and Mark Zempel as the skip. Congratulations to both teams, and again, congratulations to Team Mooney, taking this year's Garden State Trophy. And you'll hear the applause from the warm room as people start to come out. Mike Malarowski, as a ice crew technician, sweeping up the ice on sheet 2. So we got Andy Dunham throwing his second rock. Beautiful delivery on this, looks to be a hit. Peeling off that guard. Plays it just right. Sits nose. Control the center line. Dutt is still sitting 1. So I think the play there might not have been just to hit nose, controlling the center line, but rather getting rid of the guard, not having a guard, and maybe getting rid of that shot rock. So maybe a little bit of an aggressive attempt there. But I mean, you got to commend the shots. You got to go for it. Cody Clausard prepping to throw his first. Remember, Team Dutt here does not have hammer. Dunham has hammer here. So how do we maximize what's that pressure shot situation here? So Cody coming out. Calling a little light from the sweep. Making sure you at least get past that guard. And they've got past the guard, but the question is going to be where's it going to end up. It looks like it's checking up a little bit. It's going to be behind the tee. Is it going to be second shot? It is not. Just drifts just a little too far. Scott Dunham is still sitting second shot. Dutt is sitting 1-3. All right, Scott Dunham looks to maybe either. It looks like it's gonna be hitting the shot rock. You hit it thin enough, you might be able to get both. Might even be a draw to the back end. I was not paying attention. I got a lot of people on the computers right now. Andy's sweeping for line right now, calling him off. Yep, there's the sweep now. Looks like it's on it. Looks like it's on that back yellow. This shot rock on yellow. The question is going to be where it's going to end up. Just pushes it back. Doesn't seem to be gone completely. So let's take a look at inside the house, everybody. What does that house look like for us right now? So with this view right here, you're seeing shot 1 and 2. Unfortunately, we can't see the back, so I apologize. I do not believe that back yellow is of consequence at the moment. So let's fade back in. All right, we got Cody sitting up for his last rock of this end. Looks like it's going to be hit and roll. Be able to get behind that guard. So right now, Cody on the delivery. Nice release. Looks like control weight. Maybe control up a little bit. Sweepers are on and off a little bit. Now they're calling for the curl. Hard on the curl. You got contact. It's going to be right nose. And I got to... Not really thrilled with it. We got the contact. But now, Dunham's got a shot for 2 here.
We can roll all the way this way.
Scott Dunham. Mentioning back 8, back 12 here. But good contact here. You want to make sure you're not rolling too far away. Get your good contact here. That's priority. Get your deuce. Go in with a good advantage going in. So here's Scott setting up. Andy on the sweep. Andy on the sweep hard. Looks like it's hard for line. Weight looks really good. Scott's communicating good weight. Keeping that line. But just misses. Oh, over curls. They're checking to make sure that you got the one for sure. Making things a little interesting. Coming home, we have ourselves a steal of 1. So, after 7, got ourselves a tie game. But Dunham has the hammer advantage coming home. 8 ends of exceptional play. Ken, you are very welcome. I'm doing my best. I have big shoes to fill. If you give me an opportunity to talk, I'm gonna talk. I think that's kind of the thing that everyone at Plainfield knows. So I will not shut up unless someone asks me politely to. So we've got lead rocks coming out from Charlie, making sure that we get ourselves a really nice setup. The goal for Team Dut right now is simple. Own the center line, congest it, control the center line, make sure you highly execute, get that steal, make it very complicated for Dunham to take the win here. Looks like it's going to be a 2-guard, hugging that center line, nicely done from their lead. And there's two real choices here. The two choices that you can go with, this being the last end. You could go for the wick, create 2 corner guards, or you can come in behind, be aggressive, draw in behind it. Scott calling for the draw. I like it. I like the aggression to this. Weight's looking really good. I like it because if it's narrow with this kind of weight, you do end up creating the wick as a byproduct. So it's a little warm coming in for the guard, or coming for the draw. I mean, looks like it's through Brian. Brian sweeping it out. Right through. A rare miscue there from the lead on Dunham. Charlie being asked to put another center line guard up. Again, making sure that you congest that center line. Wow indeed, Ken. Wow indeed. As we see Charlie throwing his last lead rocks for this end, I want to take this time to thank everybody in the Plainfield community who has come out and volunteered. Everybody from our appetizers nights, our bartenders, our cleaning staff, our food volunteers, people helping out with the steaks. We are a volunteer-run organization, just like most other curling clubs are, and we cannot do anything without volunteers. So all of our volunteers, thank you. We are greatly appreciative of it, and we encourage everybody to take a chance to volunteer. Sometimes volunteering is coming out of that and being a bartender, offering some food. Anything always helps with these bonspiels. So if there's a bonspiel that you're really excited about and you might not be able to compete in, but you want to help, always volunteer. It sometimes is a thankless job, but when you look at the benefits to volunteering at a club like this, everyone is appreciative of it. And we are very grateful to our volunteers. We got Mark Wheeler throwing his second attempt on the draw. Just hits the center line guard, but it looks like it's going to end up rolling. It's going to be exposed, but it's sitting on top of the tee. It's enough for the Duts to go for the hit and roll over if they want, or they can try to be a little bit more aggressive, be more in control, and drawing behind the 2 guards. Here we got Brian throwing his first. We got sweepers on it hard. We don't really see a lot of action going to the wings as much. So we do see a lot of drag happening. And now that we've got only 1 game going on, we do traditionally see ice seize up a little bit when there's only 1 game going on. So the question now becomes, how do we see these 2 elite level teams adjust to this ice condition so late in the game? You know, adjusting to the ice is always the game for the curler. I love curling because of that mental aspect. Things going to change. These minute changes can make really big shots even bigger. And when you play unfamiliar lines, you're going to make those adjustments. Here we go. We've got, my apologies, we've got Mike Dunham throwing some heat, getting rid of some guards, which is great. No longer any guards on the center line. Dunham sitting 1. We got 2 high guards, 2 off-colored high guards on the intern side, which is exactly where I think Brian is shooting for, getting a draw over there. Here we go with Brian's second. Cody on the sweep. Cody and Charlie both on the sweep. He's running straight. Question will be where we're going to end up here. We got ourselves a guard. Perhaps that was the call the entire time. I might have, you know, not looked a little, I might not have been paying attention. For that, I apologize. But right now, Scott wants to keep it all open, asking his second to peel off that guard. Here we go. Mike's second. Sweeper's on it, make sure that the line's there. Andy doing the really wonderful backward sweep. Got the hit, got the peel. That guard does not exist anymore. Now, Brian trying to make sure that they get what they need, get that guard. Tightening up the line a little bit. Haven't seen really a lot of action coming off of a line call right on the edge of the button here. Change to the call a little bit. Rather than going for the center line guard, they're going to go off center a little bit. So tighten up that line a little bit. Changing to a corner guard. Here's Daniel Dutt, sorry, with his first. Cody on the clean. Nice placement on the guard, exactly what they were hoping for. Question now for Scott's going to be what are they going to do, and they just want to get rid of it. Keeping it open, keeping the mistakes down. As we are getting prepped to watch Andy throw his first, I just want to draw your attention to a couple bonspiels coming up in the GNCC, the Grand National Curling Club. We got our friends at the Curling Club hosting the Big Apple Open starting on Thursday the 24th of March. On the same weekend, another open bonspiel, and our friends to the south, Potomac, will have their Cherry Blossom. 2 very exciting bonspiels happening near us. Really excited and hoping for great turnouts for both and great and fun curling on both of them. I know the Potomac Curling Club and Ardsley Curling Clubs both have live streams on their YouTube channels, so go check them out later in the season. Rochester's is going to be hosting their Curling the Gathering bonspiel open, as well as Charlotte hosting their Hogline 500 later on in March. And then end of season, we've got the bonspiel at the same weekend as the Carolina Classic with our friends in the south at the Triangle Curling Club in Durham, North Carolina. You might notice a little bit of an accent on me. I'm a Carolina boy, so always nice to see our friends in Charlotte and Triangle hosting some really successful, really competitive, and a lot of fun bonspiels. So get a chance to check them out too. It's always good to show some love to our neighbors. Checking them out. Got ourselves a nice corner guard again, that yellow guard, thrown by Dan. Andy on his second being asked to get rid of it. taking a look at the calendar, I wanted to just point out also there's some summer spiels going on this year. We've got some items going on in June and July, such as Pittsburgh hosting their Too Early for Tropical Bonspiel. Good peel out from Andy. We got the beach spiel from the Coastal Carolina Curling Club. And then Cape Cod seems to be bringing back their summer bonspiels, which is going to start with their mixed summer spiel on July the 14th, followed by the women's spiel, the men's spiel, and then the juniors spiel. So a series of spiels events in July. Definitely check them out. It is a lot of fun, and that is some high-level curling there. Cody Clausard prepping up for his first. The question is going to be, what weight are you needing to go to get to at least force Scott into a shot, force Dunham into a shot? For the 17 of you watching, I want to thank you very much for sticking around. I have been Robert Young. I have had a pleasure being the commentator. Here's Cody's first. Communicating weight from from Dan. Weight's looking a little warm right now. Sweepers are off. Good communication on the line. Line needs to come over just a hair. Looks a little warm. Needs to check up a bit. If it could stay in the house, it would be great. If it could be buried, it would be great as well. It curled a little bit towards the end. It's not... The nose is difficult. It might be edge on edge in terms of from the hack, and for those of you who might not be used to lingo, edge on edge just simply means that if you can see the rocks from the house and one rock looks to be in a line with the other, that's what edge on edge means. But it looks like Scott is going to go for the hit coming in from the center line, and when you get a hit like that, sometimes you might see the curl, start early and jump a little bit. So good contact here. Just get rid of the yellow. That's priority. You don't want to give an opportunity to sit behind anything. So it's just going to be a good hit. We don't want to hit and stick. Hit and roll would be really nice, either flopping behind the red or moving over to the right. You don't really need to keep your shooter around as well. Scott throwing his first. Andy on the sweep. Calling for straight. Making sure that you don't get a lot of that curl that happens when you go from inside out. Holding that line. Andy doing a magnificent job on the sweep, Getting that hit. Nice little rollover. Not too much of a roll, but right on the center line. So, question's going to be, is this going to be a hit and come over to behind the red, or is this going to be a draw frozen to that back red? That's the question. You want to put yourself in a position to force your opposition to throw their last rock. Even if it's button. Even if it's a button, Scott's still going to have to throw his last rock. So here we go. Cody getting communication from his sweepers on what to expect from the ice here. This will be Team Dutt's last tie game here in the 8th, 3-3. It's been a great game to watch. I've had an absolute pleasure watching this game, and here we go from Cody, his last. Calling a little less on the ice, a little less on the weight, Got Dan staying close now. Good communication. Running a little bit. It's going to check up a little bit. The question is going to be where it's going to end up. Are we going to get some separation? It's going to be locked on frozen. They want locked on frozen. And there it is. Nicely done. Just a little bump, but it's essentially frozen. It's going to be forced in Scott. He needs a nose hit. Needs a nose hit to stick. That's all he needs to do here. Team Dutt has had an amazing tournament. Having an opportunity to play against them was a highlight of my own career, so I want to congratulate them. Went out there and threw their best. Always glad to see teams come out here and play to their best. Here we got Scott in the hack, prepping, making sure good clean contact, nose hit for the win. Here we go. All right, calling for backline weight. Andy is on the sweep. making sure that they're holding that straight line, calling a hard line. No curl on this one. Keep it going. Keep that line straight as possible. You just want to nose, hit, and stick. Coming down a lot. There's that nose hit. And with that, this year's winner of the 2022 PCC Stone here at the Plainfield Curling Club is the Dunham Rink, consisting of lead Mark Wheeler, second Mike Dunham, third Andy Dunham, and skip Scott Dunham. Congratulations goes to our runners-up for this weekend. Team Dutt, composed of Charlie Vest out of the Brooklyn Lakeside Curling Club. Second, Brian Dutt, who was also calling the game. Vice skip, Daniel Dutt. And throwing skips rocks, Cody Clausard, coached by Bruce Clausard. I have been your commentator, Robert Young. It has been an absolute joy throughout this entire weekend for the Stone. Moving forward, please keep an eye out for all the activity that we have here at the Plainfield Curling Club. We've got our end of season Bonspiel coming up soon. The Bonspiel, where we'll be having a Viking party. We are very excited to have the Valhalla themed Bonspiel. Applause for our victors as they're coming off the ice. Again, please check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You're looking for NJ Curling. You could also visit us at njcurling.org. I want to thank Scott DePalma for coordinating this year's Stone. Congratulations again to all of our event winners, all of our event runners-up. Congratulations to everyone. And until we see you at the Bonspiel, this is Robert Young signing off. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend.